Hi, I'm Dan Couteau, and welcome to my new rig, Ice Machine. One price gets you 3 rigs: Ice Cube Machine, Ice Shard Machine, and Ice Machine. Let's take a look at Ice Cube Machine and see what it's all about. After downloading the Ice Machine 1.02 zip file, double-click on it, open up the folder, then take the Ice Machine 1.02 lib file and move it into your Cinema 4D folder in Library, Browser. So Option drag, copy drag that over there, and then depending on whether you have a large monitor or a regular monitor or a laptop, you're going to open up one of these two and drag the inside folder, not the large monitor, regular monitor folder, but the HUD thumbnails folder that lives inside these, into your text folder inside Cinema 4D. So I copy drag that in case I ever change my mind or want to use the rig on a laptop. Open up Cinema 4D, and in the content browser you'll see Ice Machine. Simply double click on Ice Cube Machine and that scene will load. The first thing you want to do is click on Ice Cube Machine, and this little plus sign down here in the Attributes Manager, so you can have a special attributes window for the rig. This is because due to the heads-up display, it will take over the embedded attribute manager and you won't be able to control it. Ice Cube Machine is basically meant to create cubes quickly and easily, and it's not meant as a scene file for you to take those cubes and then work within. So you take them, bake them, and put them in your own scene. First thing you want to do, turn on Ice Cube Machine. Go to high res, then turn on the thumbnails. Thumbnails are pretty cool. On this side here, you have your materials. On the other side, you have your contours or displacement, which affect the actual geometry. And what you do is combine the two. This way, you get 100 base ice cubes to play with immediately. Clicking on the different materials here will update them in the material thumbnails. As well, down here, only the material specific to the one you have chosen appears in the Attribute Manager. This takes away all the potential clutter. The same goes for the surface. As soon as you click any of the different choices, they update immediately on the cube itself and in the preview thumbnails. And all these parameters are fully adjustable and you can play with them to your heart's content. You can also turn on bubbles. You can also turn on ice spokes, which makes the ice cube look like it was created with unfiltered water. When you're ready and you like your cube, proceed to the bake button. Simply click on it. I usually leave this alone because what it does here is it will name your cube according to the material and the contour that you chose. That way you don't get confused when you have lots of cubes. So basically, you come in over here, turn it back on again, turn this guy off, and let's pick these two, change this shape, bake, and there you go. In less than 10 seconds, you've created an ice cube that looks pretty cool. One last thing, if you want to, within Ice Cube Machine, change the cube dimensions, change the fillet radius, you can do so. Don't like it? Simply click Reset Cube. If you want to change its scale, its rotation, its position, just to tweak things, and again, don't like it? Reset Cube. And that's it for Ice Cube. Next up, we have Ice Shard Machine. Ice Shard Machine works in a similar way to Ice Cube Machine. Here it is in the content browser. Double click on it. Once again, you have to select Ice Shard Machine in the Object Manager, then click the little plus sign to give it its own attribute panel, and then turn it on. The major difference between Ice Cube and Ice Shard is that you get 10 shards instead of just 1 cube. To figure out what shard you want to use, simply click on the shard selector thumbnails and choose one. Once again, by choosing a shard thumbnail, the actual shard geometry is updated as well. So let's go with Parmesan. Then we can turn off the shard selector thumbnails, turn on the material thumbnails, and you'll see that they are all specific to whatever shard you selected. If I'm still over in material and I want to click on a different shard, I simply do so and everything updates specific to that shard. Once again, all the materials are only displayed specific to the shard. So if I'm in hotel or candy cane and in pebble, that's what I'm going to see. If I flip over to flint, then that's what I'm going to see. Once again, you have your surface controls down here, which you can adjust, and you can change the height and intensity and the seed. You also have the bubbles and spokes option. Once again, if you want to adjust the scale, if you want to adjust the rotation, and if you want to adjust its position, you can do so over here. Not happy? Simply click Reset PSR. When you're happy with your shard, just go over to the Bake button and bake it. And bingo, there it is, ready to drop into your scene. And once again, you can just create multiple shards very quickly and easily. And let's go with hotel, and let's go with Parmesan, and bake.
And last, we have Ice Machine.
So now we have 2 shards ready to drop into the
Ice
scene.
Machine is designed to put ice effects
ice shard
on your
machine.
logos or other objects. Ice Machine starts off in the same way that the other 2 rigs do. Double-click on it in the content browser, and it will load. I have a piece of type here, and I've turned it into an object, Command-C. And what you have to do before you start using the rig is select certain areas. There are 2 areas of major importance. The first is where you want the ice to lie, the surface ice. I've made some selections here, and you can see this is where I want my surface ice to be. A second selection determines where I want the icicles to be. And then you're ready to go. I turn my camera back on, click on Ice Machine, click on the little plus sign, so I have its own special attributes panel. Once you've made the selections, you can then drag and drop the object and its selections into their respective boxes. It's very important that you drag and drop those and not delete them first. This is the area I'm talking about. You take your object, drag it into there, open up Surface Ice, take your selection, drag it into there, Icicles Blend, drag your icicles selection, and the icicles themselves, drag your icicle selection into there as well. Ice Machine works a little bit differently than the other 2 rigs. It works with metaballs, so it's going to slow down your scene somewhat. So you have to go like in a step-by-step fashion just to not get completely bogged down. First thing you want to do is turn it on. And the next thing you want to do is turn on the thumbnails to see what effects are available to you. Ice Machine has 12 materials instead of 10, and 12 contour effects instead of 10. The materials are laid out on the left as before, and the contours on the right. Each contour also has a small thumbnail that gives you an idea of exactly what the contour effect will look like. Over here is the geometry section. I have my surface ice on. Let me just turn the thumbnails off for a second. And you can see that this is where the surface metaball effect will take place. I've also got a little icicles blend section down here that blends the icicles together with whatever's underneath them and is separate from the surface ice. And the last part is the icicles. There are 5 different types of icicles, and you can turn them all on or turn some on or whatever you want to do. And you can also play with the random effector here and see what happens there. When you're good to go, turn on the ice effect and turn on high res. And then, just like before, bake. You now end up with a separate ice object that you can take into a program like ZBrush and Dynamesh, or you can just play with in Cinema 4D and Sculpt. The materials section has a little snow button that you can add some snow to, and the materials work in the same way that they do for Ice Cube Machine and Ice Shard Machine. So picking a different material causes the materials section to update. And when I go into the contour section, again, I can pick different contours for different things. There's a bubbles function here as well. And we'll just do a quick render to see what that looks like. And there it is. And that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of Ice Machine and the 3 rigs that it contains. I'll see you soon. This is Dan Couteau. Thanks.